Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about changing process of a material. I'm Hector Alfaro. Let's start. The materials that I'm going to talk about are wood, steel, plastic, and aluminum. The wood is taken from the trees, then it is carried through trucks until the storage of the company. Then it passes through a process of cutting where it depends of its function. It is cut in a specific shape or in a specific size. Then the wood is arranged depending on the sizes and on the shapes. After that, those are shipped. Then the wood is delivered in different trucks to different stores of wood where the customers buy them, and also where the people used to search of different type of wood, and that person that want to buy wood buy them because they used to make some things such as turn on the chimney, or they turn on a fire. Also, the people used to buy wood to make furniture in the case they are carpenters. So there the wood passes through other process of cutting to get the shapes to assemble them and get the pieces of furniture. The thing here is that the wood have a lot of processes where the carpenter can make those parts of the furniture. I mean, exists the cutting process where the wood has to pass through through a machine where it is going to cut the wood in the specific way, the specific shape that the customer asked or ordered. So I think that wood have a lot of uses, because as you can see, the wood could be a chair or a table, and the raw material of the wood, I mean, you can form the shape you want with the correct machine to produce the parts that you want. All right. So the companies here in Chihuahua, at least, I don't meet them, because I think that here in Chihuahua it is more common that the companies use more steel or iron, right? So let's start to the steel. The steel is a common metal that is used in the industrial companies to make many processes and to produce many types of products. The companies buy the steel in the other companies that make the material able to be produced, alright? Because you think that the steel has to be mixed or has to be created from the iron, and the iron is taken from the mines. Then the iron is mixed with other material and you get the steel. So then the material is stored in the storage of the companies. Then the material is asked by the people in charge of the productivity, those that know what kind of material they have to work in the machines that they have. For instance, if the engineer wants to produce some pieces of the car, to be more specific, the pipes, well, the pieces has many edges that cannot be developed with any other process than hydroforming, for example. As a result, the material required are steel sheets. Then the sheet is fit in the matrix of the machine. After that, the machine is closed and the liquid enters and starts to generate enough pressure to make the steel sheet becomes in the form of the die, or of the matrix in that case. As you can see in the image, the liquid enters and generates that pressure that the piece needs to become in the form of the matrix or of the presses that there are in the machine. So as you can see, hydroforming is the perfect process to produce pieces of steel that are sheets, because with what other type of process you can produce those kind of products that are parts of a car? I mean, those edges are so hard to develop, and I think with a cutting process or with a, I don't know, bending, you cannot develop that kind of products, so you have to use hydroforming. So the companies have to spend money on that type of machine that produce those kind of products, because hydroforming, if you remember, it's too expensive because the machines and the kind of process with the liquid. Alright, so then we have plastic. The plastic is used in many things. For instance, it is used in the holders or in the car pieces and other pieces that are in our life. But the companies have to develop a specific process to develop those products. I mean, if you want to know how some pipes used for electricity stuff, for example, are produced, well, the correct process is the extrusion. Due to the pipes are plastics, thus the plastic has to be heated in the machines to make the plastic becomes in a metal way, to have the capacity to pass through the die with a specific form. In this case, the shape will be a circle without the center, just the circumference to get the pipe. Alright, so the machine with the plastic melted and with a screw, it generates a pressure that makes the plastic passes through the die with its form. So as you can see in the image, the details of the process in the extrusion, we have a hopper where you have to to put the plastic there, and the plastic pass through the screw that is heated, and also the heater bands have more temperature than the screw to make like the plastic becomes in a melted plastic to have the capacity of pass through the die, because as you can see in the image, the die is so small. So just imagine the plastic has to be between melted and a little bit with that strong form, you know. So the companies until here, the companies have many ways to develop products. Sorry. So this type of extrusion is extrusion molding, because you can work with molds. If you see in the image, first the plastic is put it in the hopper, then the plastic passes through the screw, and the screw with the heater bands start to melt the plastic, and the plastic passes through the die with the shape. But in that case, it's like a casting, because the plastic melted goes to a mold, and that mold has the specific shape that the customer needs. But in the case of the pipes of electricity, the die should have that specific shape with a hole in the center, just to pass the plastic in the circumference shape, so you can obtain the pipes of plastic that are used for the electricity stuff. Alright, then we have aluminum, that in this case the aluminum has a lot of uses, but especially in this case we are going to talk about the sheets with some shapes. So because the aluminum has a little level of strength, right? Is lesser than steel or iron, alright? So the aluminum will be produced by rolling, in this case. That is a forming process, because it is about the form the piece. So the aluminum has to be delivered with the specific shape that the customer ordered. Then the aluminum sheets have to be collocated in the machine of rolling process in the way that the sheet fits with the first rollers, due to each roller has its specific shape. Alright, and the sheet has to pass through all those rollers of the machine to be carried until the cutting process, in case it is necessary, because some companies need to use a cutting process after the rolling process. Thus, the customer asks little parts of the entire sheet with that specific form that you produce. Then the pieces are shipped and delivered to the customers. So as you can see in the image, we have a little bit the parts of the machine. The number one could be like the base of the machine. Then in the number two we have one of those rollers that has a specific shape with two curves on it. And then we have the number 3, that it doesn't has a specific shape, just is like right, alright? So the number 4 has 2 holes, but are more like to bend the metal sheet, and the number 5 is again just to put it right, the metal sheet of aluminum. And in the other case is the aluminum is being heated, if you want, with fire, because it's a large sheet of aluminum. And down we have other rollers with a large sheet of aluminum. And finally, what do we get with this? Well, in my conclusions, as you can see, there is an importance if we talk about the process and the type of material that each process works, because not all the process can work with all the materials, but this is a logical point. I mean, how a process that is used to develop some holders is going to be used to work with wood. That is an impossible idea. I mean, that the engineers must know, and not only they, I mean all the employees that there are in the company, those who work with the machine and have to know what kind of material they are going to need to work with the machines that they have, because I mean the employees must know what type of material they have to work, they need to produce a specific product. But not only the employees, the engineers, the inventory people, maybe the managed people also must know, because they ask to the suppliers the material that the company needs to produce the products that they deliver to the customers. So those are the conclusions, that the importance that exists between the material and the process and the final product, right? With also among the company, among the engineers, the machines, the process, the material. So there are a lot of important points that you have to see in each type of material and each type of process and each type of machines. Alright? And well, that's all for me. Bye.